The group chat was silent on my mother's birthday. Not silent entirely. There were messages. Photos of the cake my sister had picked up. Plans for dinner. Reminders about what time to arrive. But no one asked me to organize it. No one expected me to coordinate the restaurant reservation or remind everyone to bring cards or suggest gift ideas. The celebration happened without my input. Without my labor. Without me being the invisible scaffolding holding it all together. I stared at my phone, watching the messages accumulate, and felt something I hadn't expected. Not relief. Not satisfaction. Just a quiet, hollow recognition. They didn't need me anymore. Because I'd stopped being useful. My name is Harper. I'm 37. And for most of my life, I believed my family loved me. It took me decades to realize they loved what I did for them. There's a difference. A devastating one. I became useful young. The oldest daughter. Responsible. Organized. The one who anticipated needs before they were spoken. When I was 12, I started managing the family calendar. My mother would forget dentist appointments, parent-teacher conferences, my younger siblings' activities. So I took over. Wrote everything down. Reminded everyone where they needed to be. My parents praised me for it. Called me mature. Responsible. Such a good helper. I internalized that praise. Learned that being helpful made me valuable. That usefulness earned love. By high school, I was organizing family events. Birthdays. Holidays. Gatherings. My mother would say, "Harper will handle it," and everyone would relax. Harper will handle it. I handled everything. In college, I became the family mediator. When my parents fought, they'd both call me. When my siblings had conflicts, I'd smooth things over. When extended family drama erupted, I was the one who made peace. My phone was always on. Always available. Because someone always needed something. And I provided it. Because that's what made me matter. After college, I moved back to my hometown. Got a job. Got an apartment 20 minutes from my parents' house. Close enough to help. Always close enough to help. I planned every family holiday. Booked restaurants for birthdays. Organized gift exchanges. Coordinated schedules. Sent reminder texts. Made sure everyone knew where to be and when. My siblings would show up to perfectly planned events and thank my mother for organizing them. She'd smile and accept the praise. Sometimes she'd add, "Harper helped a little." Helped a little. I'd spend hours planning, shopping, coordinating, executing. But it was presented as helping a little. When my grandmother got sick, I became her primary caregiver coordinator. Not the actual caregiver, my mother did that, but the one who managed everything around it. I scheduled doctor appointments, picked up prescriptions, researched treatment options, handled insurance paperwork, organized the rotation of family members who would sit with her. I did this while working full-time, while maintaining my own life, while pretending it wasn't exhausting. My family thanked me, said they didn't know what they'd do without me, said I was a lifesaver. And I felt valuable, necessary, loved. After my grandmother died, my uncle pulled me aside at the funeral. "Your family is lucky to have you. You hold everyone together." I remember feeling proud of that, being the one who held everyone together. I didn't realize yet that being structural support meant I'd never be seen as anything else. The shift started when I began therapy. Not for family issues initially. For work stress. For anxiety I couldn't quite name. But eventually, we talked about family. About my role. About the constant requests and expectations, and how tired I felt. "What would happen if you stopped?" my therapist asked. Stopped what? Being useful. What would happen? Everything would fall apart. Would it? I genuinely believed it would. The family needed me. Without my organizational skills, my willingness to step in, my constant availability, everything would collapse. "What would happen to you if you stopped?" she asked. I didn't have an answer. "Would they still love you?" she pressed gently. "Of course." "How do you know?" I opened my mouth to respond, then closed it. How did I know? I started an experiment after that session. Small at first. My cousin's baby shower was coming up. Usually, I'd organize it. Coordinate with family members. Handle decorations, food, games, everything. This time, I waited to be asked. No one asked. A week before the shower, my aunt texted the family group chat, "Who's handling the baby shower?" Silence. Then my sister, "I thought Harper was doing it?" My aunt, "Harper, are you organizing the shower?" I stared at the message. The assumption that I would. The lack of actual request. Just the expectation. I typed, "I'm not available to organize it this time." Silence in the chat. Then, my sister, "Oh. Okay. So who's doing it then?" Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Is everything all right?" Just, "Who's doing it then?" Someone else eventually volunteered. The shower happened. It was fine. No one asked me why I hadn't organized it. They just adjusted and moved on. I started saying no more often after that. "Harper, can you pick up the cake for Dad's birthday?" "I can't this time." "Maybe someone else can." "Harper, can you call the insurance company about Mom's claim?" Mom should call them directly. They'll need to verify her information anyway. "Harper, can you coordinate Thanksgiving?" "Not this year." Someone else should take a turn. Each no felt like stepping off a cliff, waiting to see if anyone would catch me, or if they'd just let me fall. They let me fall. Not dramatically. Not with anger or confrontation. Just with quiet acceptance and a subtle shift in how they related to me. The messages slowed. The calls became less frequent. The invitations still came, but without the implied list of tasks attached. I was still invited to events. I just wasn't expected to create them anymore. My sister called me 3 months into this shift. "Are you mad at us or something?" "No." "Why?" "You've just been really absent lately." "I've been to every family event." "Yeah, but you're not really there. You're not helping. You're not organizing things. You're just showing up." "Is showing up not enough?" She paused. "It's just weird. It's not like you." "Maybe it is like me. Maybe you just never saw it because I was too busy doing everything else." "I don't understand why you're being like this." "Like what?" "Distant. Unhelpful. Unhelpful." The word hit like a slap. I'm not being unhelpful. I'm just not being useful to you in the specific ways I used to be. What's the difference? The difference is I'm still here. I still show up. I still care. I'm just not doing everyone's labor for them anymore. No one asked you to do all that stuff. That was the thing. They hadn't asked. They'd just expected. And I'd provided. And now that I wasn't providing, suddenly I was the problem. "You're right," I said. No one asked. So now I'm not offering. We ended the call awkwardly. She seemed confused. I felt strangely clear. If you've ever been valued primarily for what you provide rather than who you are, you'll understand the grief that comes with stopping. It's not the loss of the tasks. It's the loss of the certainty that you matter. The family's next crisis revealed everything. My father had a minor medical issue. Nothing serious, but it required some follow-up appointments and medication management. Normally, I would have jumped in, coordinated appointments, researched doctors, managed his medication schedule, followed up with insurance. This time I waited. My mother called. "Harper, your father needs to see a specialist. Can you find someone and make an appointment? He should call his primary care doctor for a referral. They'll have recommendations. But you're so good at researching these things. He's capable of making his own appointments, Mom." "I know, but it would just be easier if you handled it." "Easier for who?" Silence. "What's going on with you?" she asked finally. "Nothing's going on. I'm just not available to manage Dad's healthcare." "You're not available?" "He's your father. And he's an adult who can handle his own medical appointments. I don't understand this attitude. I'm not being difficult. I'm just not automatically stepping in anymore." She hung up frustrated. My father handled his own appointments. He was fine. But no one called to update me. No one included me in the process once I wasn't managing it. I realized I'd only been kept informed when I was useful. The holidays that year were different. No one asked me to plan Thanksgiving. My sister did it. She sent out a mass text with the time and a request for everyone to bring a dish. It was disorganized. People brought duplicates. Some items were forgotten. The timing was off. But it happened. Without me. I showed up with the requested side dish. Sat at the table. Ate. Participated in conversation. My mother mentioned several times how chaotic things were, how nothing was organized, how she wished things were more coordinated. She never said she wished I'd organized it, just that she wished someone had. I sat there, invisible in my uselessness. Christmas was similar. My brother volunteered to plan it. He did a mediocre job. Wrong size turkey. Forgot cranberry sauce. Didn't coordinate gift exchange properly. Throughout dinner, I watched my family navigate the small disasters. Saw them adapt, cope, figure things out. They didn't need me. They just preferred having me handle everything because it was easier. After dinner, my aunt pulled me aside. "You've been so quiet lately. Are you doing okay?" "I'm fine. You just seem different. Disconnected." "I'm right here. But you're not really here. You're not yourself." "What do you mean by myself?" "You know, helpful, involved, making sure everything runs smoothly." So myself meant useful. Myself meant functional. Myself meant in service to everyone else's comfort. "I'm trying a new version of myself," I said. "One where I'm not responsible for everyone else's experience." She looked confused. "Well, I hope you figure things out." I realized she thought I was going through something. Some kind of crisis or breakdown. It didn't occur to her that I was actually healing. 6 months into this shift, my phone rang much less. My siblings called only when they needed something specific. When I couldn't help, the conversations ended quickly. My parents called weekly, but the calls felt obligatory. Surface-level check-ins with long silences. The family group chat still buzzed with activity. But I was rarely mentioned. Rarely included in planning. Rarely asked for input. I hadn't been cut out. I'd just become irrelevant. Because my value had always been in my utility. And I'd stopped being useful. The moment of true clarity came on my birthday. I woke up to a few text messages. Generic happy birthday wishes. Cake emojis. Heart emojis. No one offered to take me to dinner. No one suggested celebrating. No one asked what I wanted to do. For years, I'd organized everyone else's birthdays. Made reservations. Coordinated attendance. Made sure the day felt special. On my birthday, without me organizing it, nothing happened. My mother called in the afternoon. "Happy birthday, sweetie. Are you doing anything special?" "No." "Oh. Well, maybe we can get together next weekend." Next weekend. Not today. Not my actual birthday. When it was convenient. "Sure. Maybe." We hung up. I sat in my apartment alone. No celebration. No plans. No acknowledgement beyond text messages. And I understood something fundamental. They didn't miss me. They missed what I did. And when I stopped existing to them in any meaningful way. I grieved after that birthday. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly in private moments. I grieved the family I thought I had. The one where love was unconditional. Where presence mattered more than productivity. I grieved the version of myself who believed being useful meant being loved. And I grieved the decades I'd spent earning my place at a table where I should have been welcome just for existing. My therapist asked what I wanted from my family now. I don't know. I used to know. I wanted them to need me. Now I realize that's not the same as wanting them to love me. What does love look like to you? I think it looks like someone wanting to spend time with me even when I can't help them. Calling because they miss me, not because they need something. Remembering my birthday without me organizing the celebration. Do you think your family is capable of that? I don't know. Maybe they are and they just never had to be. Or maybe they're not. Either way, I can't keep performing usefulness and calling it love. I made a decision after that session. A clear, quiet decision. I would stop trying to be valuable to my family. I would just be present. And I would see what remained. If they wanted a relationship with me, they'd need to build it on something other than my utility. If they didn't, then I'd know the truth. And I could move forward accordingly. A year passed. My relationship with my family became sparse. Surface level. Cordial but distant. We saw each other at major holidays. Exchanged pleasantries. Shared space without sharing much else. They didn't ask why I'd changed. They just accepted the new normal. Sometimes I felt angry about it. About the years I'd spent being useful instead of being known. about the love I'd earned instead of received. But mostly I felt clear. I built friendships that didn't require me to coordinate everything. Relationships where I was valued for who I was, not what I provided. I started spending holidays with friends. People who invited me because they enjoyed my company, not because they needed me to organize the meal. I learned what it felt like to be wanted instead of needed. My sister called one evening, 14 months after I'd started setting boundaries. "Harper, I need to talk to you about something." "Okay." "I've been thinking about how things changed between us. Between you and the family." "Okay." "And I think I'm starting to understand." I waited. "I was talking to my therapist. I started seeing someone a few months ago, and I was describing our family dynamics. And she pointed something out. She said it sounded like we treated you like a service, not a sister." I felt my throat tighten. "And I got defensive at first," she continued. "But then I really thought about it. And she was right. We called you when we needed something. We expected you to handle things. And when you stopped, we were annoyed because it was inconvenient. Not because we missed you. Because we missed the convenience." "Yeah," I said quietly. "I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't see it before. I didn't understand that we were using you. I don't think it was intentional. But it still happened. And I want to do better. I want to know you as a person, not as the family organizer." "I'd like that too." We talked for over an hour. A real conversation. About our lives. Our feelings. Our relationship. It was the first time in years we'd talked without an agenda. Without a task to coordinate or a problem to solve. It felt like starting over. Building something new on different foundation. My relationship with my sister slowly improved after that. We started meeting for coffee. Just the two of us. Talking about real things. The rest of my family remained distant. Not hostile. Just disconnected. My parents still called occasionally. The conversations were brief. They didn't seem to know how to relate to me outside of crisis management. My brother maintained polite distance. We texted on birthdays. That was about it. And I made peace with it. Because I learned something crucial. You can't force people to value you differently than they're capable of valuing you. Some people only know how to love through what you provide. They're not equipped for deeper connection. And that's not your failure. It's just a limitation you have to accept. On my 38th birthday, I woke up to a text from my sister. "Happy birthday. I made us a reservation for dinner tonight. Just us. My treat. If you're free." I stared at that message for a long time. Someone had made a plan for my birthday. Without me organizing it. Without me suggesting it. Just because they wanted to celebrate me. I cried. Not from sadness. From relief. Someone saw me. Really saw me. As more than a function. That evening at dinner, my sister gave me a card. Inside, she'd written, "Thank you for teaching me the difference between using someone and loving them. I'm sorry it took me so long to learn. I love you for who you are, not what you do. Happy birthday." I kept that card. It sits on my desk. A reminder that some people can learn. Some relationships can evolve. Some family members can grow beyond the roles they've always played. But also a reminder that I had to stop being useful before anyone could see me. I think about my family now with a complicated mixture of feelings. Love. Sadness. Acceptance. Distance. I don't hate them. I don't resent them. I just understand them more clearly. Most of them loved me the only way they knew how. By relying on me. By needing me. By incorporating me into their lives as a functional part of the system. It wasn't malicious. It was just shallow. And I spent years mistaking shallow for deep because I didn't know the difference. Now I know. Deep love exists without utility. It doesn't require you to earn it through service. It doesn't disappear when you stop being helpful. Deep love sees you when you're not doing anything for anyone. Deep love calls on your birthday without you organizing the celebration. Deep love misses you, not just what you provide. I have that now. With my sister. With close friends. With people I've built relationships with based on mutual care, not mutual need. And I've learned to be okay with the family I have, while grieving the family I thought I had. They didn't love me less than I wanted. They just loved me differently than I needed. And recognizing that difference allowed me to stop waiting for them to change and start building the life I deserved. If stories like this feel familiar, you're not alone. There are more stories like mine here. About the moment you realize you've been earning love that should have been freely given. About the grief of stopping the performance. About learning that being needed is not the same as being loved. You don't have to be useful to be valuable. You don't have to earn your place. And when you stop performing utility and some relationships fade, that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a revelation of theirs. The people who love you for you will remain when you stop doing things for them. The ones who don't will show you exactly what you meant to them all along. And knowing the truth, however painful, is always better than living in the performance.